So a new COVID vaccine study came out, and the results are pretty terrifying. So let's just get into it, shall we? The links are in the description. You can go read articles about it, and you can go see the study for yourself. But this was the largest study ever done. I've got my notes. The largest study ever done on the COVID vaccine, 99 million participants. So I think we can conclude that results of this are they're pretty rock solid. So they look for 13 conditions. Correlated to the COVID vaccine. But what they didn't look for, interestingly enough, and I'm not sure why, because I haven't got into all of the methodology of the study yet, they didn't look for postural orthostatic tachycardic syndrome, which is something that's common with the COVID vaccine. So essentially what that is when you change positions, your heart rate goes up to about 1,000,000. That's pretty much what that is. But anyway, so when you read the news article about this, especially the one from Bloomberg that I've linked in the description, they say that there was a small increase in likelihood for Guillain-Barré syndrome, transverse myelitis, which is spinal cord inflammation, encephalomyelitis, which is inflammation of the brain and the spinal cord, myocarditis, inflammation of the heart muscle, pericarditis, inflammation of the fibrous sac around the heart muscle, and then also exercise intolerance and brain fog. But when they say small, what they mean is it was literally 3 times the likelihood for those things. It tripled your likelihood for those things to happen. And these are very, very serious. People talk about Guillain-Barré syndrome in relation to vaccines a lot, but let me just explain really quick what that is. So essentially what happens is your peripheral nerves stop working. So your arms and legs stop working. You're laying in bed for months sometimes while they give you IVIG treatments and extensive physical and occupational therapy. Sometimes you can't breathe. Sometimes you can't swallow, so you get put on a peg tube for feeding, and you get put on a ventilator. I've seen people on ventilators, and once you're on a ventilator, it's pretty rare that you survive coming off of it. Guillain-Barré syndrome is not a joke. It can be so freaking severe. It can cause untold amounts of damage to your life. Doctor bills you'll always be paying off, just all kinds of horrible effects. But imagine not being able to move. We knew that it was linked to vaccines in general, but this one, it was literally 3 times more likely with the COVID vaccine. So the one that really got to me, though, cerebral venous sinus thromboses, which essentially is a blood clot in your brain. There, out of the population per 100,000, they expected 21. You got 69. That's more than 3 times more likely to get a blood clot in your brain. If you've ever seen someone who's had a stroke, that should terrify you, because that's pretty much what you get. You get stroke-like symptoms from that. You get severe brain damage. You can see, muscles and your skeletal muscles, like in your arms and legs, not working. You can see the smooth muscles in your intestines not working. You can see all kinds of issues with that. Just the control over your bowel and bladder, you can lose it from these thromboses in your brain. The Guillain-Barré numbers, this is what the numbers were. They expected 66 cases. They got 190. 3 times. That's 3 times as likely. I can't stress how crazy that is. These very rare diseases that are conditions that are all of a sudden just up so high. This makes me furious as a healthcare worker. You can see my scrubs. As a healthcare worker, this makes me so angry, because we were all required to get these vaccines, all of us. The people that put in for the waivers, none of them got them. In most states, they just were like, "Oh, you're fired. Oh, you're out, or we'll lay you off, or well, you can't perform your job since you haven't had the vaccine, and our policy is that you have to be vaccinated to be, performing your job. Therefore, you're not fulfilling your duties. Therefore, you're gone." Everybody got them. We all did. And it makes me so angry that they made us do this. In fact, this October, I had to get a waiver because they wanted us to get another. No. If you're not furious about this, you should be. This is the proof. Like, we've known it. Now you've got rock solid proof from a study with almost 100 million participants. That's insane. How anyone can continue to support this bullshit is beyond me. It makes me so furious. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.